Fire Emblem Warriors is so good, but you know what it needs? Naked Crom. Oh yeah, Nintendo delivers nothing but quality. We don't talk about that. With the release of Fire Emblem 3 Hopes a few months ago, I thought we could take a look at the original Fire Emblem Warriors. Haven't heard of Fire Emblem Warriors? That wouldn't surprise me. Even if you are a Fire Emblem fan, I could see this game passing your radar since not that many people talk about it. I think GTA 6 would get released before I found 100 people who had heard of Fire Emblem Warriors. And why is this? Is it because we had a lot of hack and slashers at our disposal like Hyrule Warriors and Bayonetta 2? Or is it because it got overshadowed by the reveal of Fire Emblem 3 Houses? How about we go back and take a look at the original Warriors and see if it's worth playing. When you start the game, you get to choose your difficulty and a male or female main character. You don't have to worry about who you pick because you'll be able to play as both of them most of the time. This game doesn't have much story going on, so I'll skim over some main plot points. The game starts with Rowan and Leanna sparring with their friend Darius when all of a sudden the castle gets attacked by some monsters. Before Rowan and Leanna get separated from their mother, she gives them the legendary Fire Emblem. Wait a second. That's the name of the game! We later learn that Darius' father is trying to summon an evil dragon named Valazark to cause some chaos. Then we find out that the Fire Emblem can be used to prevent the resurrection of Valazark, but we need these things called Gleamstones to put into the shield. And that's where the other Fire Emblem characters come in. Each hero has a Gleamstone within them that can be added to the Fire Emblem. After we collect all the Gleamstones, it turns out Darius is actually evil. You can tell he's evil because of the red eyes. If red eyes mean evil, then does that mean... Justice ends. Valazark gets revived, we kick the dragon in the shins, then it dies, the end. That's pretty much the story. Pretty light with nothing too serious happening. Which I don't hate because with games like these, people are more focused on pummeling through as many enemies as possible. Since the gameplay is the main attraction, let's get started talking about that. Each character has their own combos and special moves they can use in battle. It's mostly just a mix of mashing X and Y to get different results. But oh my god, is it satisfying to just mow down hundreds of enemies at a time with these moves. This game has plenty of upgrades called crests to get you new combos and skills. Like many Fire Emblem games, Warriors houses plenty of skills for you to equip on your units. You have the classic offensive skills like Luna or Lethality, and you also have some stat boosters that actually aren't too bad. But there's this one skill that is so amazing, it'll make it impossible to live without. And that skill is Astra. In previous Fire Emblem games, I considered Astra to be one of the worst offensive skills you could give a unit, but now in Warriors, it's hard to imagine not having it. Instead of having your damage and attacking multiple times, you can now attack twice as fast, which means you can deal more damage in a shorter amount of time. This skill is really useful for finishing maps quickly. And I can promise you'll fall in love with Astra. It's really satisfying to use on units like Lyn or Sakura. The game includes plenty of classic weapons like the Soul Caddy and the original Falchion. Each character even has a character-specific weapon, like how Lissa has her own axe or how Robin has his own tome. You can even equip crests on weapons, things like dealing bonus damage to certain enemy types or increasing the quality of weapon drops. Trust me, you'll get plenty of weapons defeating enemies, so you'll be selling them at any chance you get. This segues into my first few complaints of the game. Just like the American economy, everything is really expensive and the game doesn't exactly cope with that. To begin with, you have to pay a couple thousand gold just to put crests on your units. Wanting to give your Marth strength plus 10, you'll have to fork over about 3,000 gold for that. It wouldn't even be that big a deal if the game would just give you more money. Even if you played on one of the Gold Rush maps with Anna's skill that increases the amount of gold you receive from defeating enemies, you'll get around 50,000 gold. On paper it sounds like a lot of money, but you'll be spending it extremely quickly, especially when you want to level up a unit. Warriors allows you to level up a unit up to the highest level unit you have. Let's say you had a level 20 Frederick and a level 70 Corrin. The highest you could level up Frederick is 70 since you've met that milestone. It costs you so much gold to level up a unit like this. Which on one hand I can understand since it's a faster and more convenient method of leveling up, but on the other hand you already have to spend so much time grinding for the gold, so why not be a bit more lenient with it? In 3 Hopes, it's much cheaper to level up a unit, which I really appreciate compared to the original Warriors. My second complaint is the level resetting. Well, this isn't really a complaint, but more contemplation of its existence. So, if you spend 1,000,000 gold, you can reset a unit's level and collect a bunch of materials from the level reset. Why is this even a thing? I understand it's for the materials, but it seems more like a waste of 1,000,000 gold than anything useful. That's like giving a homeless man $3,000 just for a cool looking rock. Son of a bitch! I just don't understand the point of this, but luckily it's completely optional and the game doesn't try to force you to do it, so I'm okay enough letting this be. And my last complaint is repetition of gameplay. I think most people who played any Warriors game can agree the gameplay got a little stale after a little while. Be honest, how long can you do this until you get bored? The game doesn't exactly try any unique modes either. There are some modes like villager protection and enemy recruitment, but those are just different variations of what you've been doing the whole game. But somehow, with this fatal weakness, it also turns into its greatest strength. Since the gameplay sadly gets a little boring after a while, you'll most likely take a break from it. But the game has so much content, there's always something you could be doing, which gives you a reason to come back to it. Even if you didn't buy the DLC, this game has so many side missions, it'll keep you busy for a really long time. I've dumped about 80 hours into this game, and there are still costumes and weapons for me to unlock. And that's one thing I honestly really like about Warriors. With all the content available, there's always something to do. And don't you think I'm gonna forget talking about the OST of this game. Instead of the more orchestral music Fire Emblem games usually have, Warriors goes for a hard rock vibe, and it fits pretty well. Take a listen to the Awakening mode theme. They even remade some songs from previous Fire Emblem games like Winds Across the Plains. Overall, I really liked Fire Emblem Warriors. It was a really good game on the Switch, a really good hack and slash, had plenty of content, lots of characters to keep you coming back, and was overall just a lot of fun, and just a hidden gem on the Nintendo Switch that I hope you all take a stab at, play it, because it is really, really fun. I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, maybe subscribe, because otherwise I'll go homeless. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later.